So, as of releasing this video on Friday the 11th of April 2025, as many of you will know, it's the first round of GT World Challenge in Paul Ricard this weekend. The series that I so fortunately got to take part in last year, at least half of it. I did Spa, Monza and the final round in Jeddah. And since then, many of you have been asking through comments in videos, comments in the live streams, DMing me on the social media platforms. Like, honestly, the support for my racing career consistently blows me away, and it's something I'm massively grateful for. So in this video, I'll just be updating you all basically as to where I'm at, what's happened since Jeddah. Obviously, that was a fair few months ago now. And yeah, where I'm at with my real racing career, basically, because, you know, we're already a quarter of the way through 2025. All the real racing series are starting to get underway. So, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So, just after Jeddah, I left that round in a very good place. The performance was my best yet in a real race car, 100%. Matching pros, lap time wise, and of course that was the round where I got my first GT World Challenge podium, which you can see evidence of that behind me. Then after that, the immediate focus was on two things. Firstly, finding the best deal for a seat with a race team possible. So, in other words, the cheapest seat possible that has the best sporting chance of winning. And obviously I want to keep a certain level of racing. I want to be in GT World Challenge or something of that level. I don't want to particularly go down too much because that wouldn't make too much sense for my career trajectory. And the second thing, which is probably the hardest thing, is finding the budget to pay for that seat. So yeah, as a silver graded driver, which is what I am, I still have to bring budget to the table. Although after Jeddah took place, I had better offers on the table, so less cost for the same seats effectively. And that is generally how it works in motorsport. The better you are, in theory, the less budget you have to pay for a seat. But yeah, there were some good seats available. I even got offered a seat in a pro lineup in a pro car, which had never been the case before. And yeah, that in itself is a massive wow for me, because yeah, although I'd have to still bring budget to the table, they still don't just put anyone in a pro lineup. You know, that you have to be of a certain level to get that sort of offer. So clearly my stock was and is rising, which is nuts. When I got told about that, I was very happy with that, even just to get offered that, to be honest. And yeah, as well as this, I was also talking to other manufacturers as well as other McLaren teams. So the good thing is they were all interested. Whoever I was speaking to was interested, which is good. But of course, the topic always comes back to the budget and the money. And yeah, that was the harder nut to crack, to be honest, seeking that budget. And for those who don't know, I have a few people behind the scenes sort of helping me on this. I'm not soloing it. I completely understand my strengths and, more importantly, my weaknesses, and I definitely need help in this area. So I've got, you know, my partner Katie helps a lot with this stuff, as well as a few other individuals that I fully trust. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I need to show a brand or investor why it's worth their investment to get me in a seat for 2025 and beyond. So not an easy task. And yeah, although we had some very good conversations and leads over the last few weeks and months, we couldn't make it happen, unfortunately. So I wasn't able to raise any budget since Jeddah, which is not good. On a slightly different note, let me just clear something up as well, because I've seen a few comments over the years where people, I guess, assume I'm a rich kid and that's why I'm racing. And I get it, you know, racing is very expensive. We all know that. And generally speaking, you know, the story is that racing driver's there because he's come from wealth or he's managed to get wealth somehow to pay for his seat. We know it's an expensive sport. So I fully understand that. And I think people assume when they see me racing is, wow, he must have so much money, or wow, he comes from wealth or whatever. That's why he's there. And yeah, I just want to sort of set the record straight on this, because it really isn't the case at all. Literally less than 7 years ago, which is not long ago at all, I was working in a machine shop as a machinist, making parts like gears, shafts for aerospace and aviation, and that's what I was doing, right? And I was getting paid no more than £9.50 an hour. So that was what my career path was, and that was fine. I was happy doing that. Like, I didn't have a pound to my name, to be honest. Every bit of money I earned, I spent. So I don't come from a family of wealth. I'm not trying to read you a sob story here. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I just want you guys to know a bit more about me and not get me confused as a young up-and-coming racing driver who came from wealth, because that really isn't my story. My way into GT racing was completely 100% through sim racing. Without sim racing, I had no career in real racing, literally nothing. I did a bit of karting when I was younger, not at a particularly high level, but I had to stop when I was a teenager. So yeah, without sim racing, you know, I fully accepted. This time 7 years ago, being a GT driver or being a racing driver wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even think it was possible. Because yeah, I got to race because I won a competition called World's Fastest Gamer back in 2019, and I'm very, very lucky it worked out with the timing and stuff. But yeah, maybe that's a video for another day, is, you know, for those who have subscribed more recently and maybe don't know the story, I can start from the beginning of my sim racing journey to the end, and how did I end up here, I suppose. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see that as a video, and maybe I'll make that. Anyways, as the budget hunt was over, I thought the chance for seat was over as well. But as some of you may have seen in the last few weeks and months, I've been testing with Paradigm Competition in their BMW M4 GT3 Evo, both in January in Dubai and then last month at Silverstone. And this came about because they had a available silver seat for one of their GT World Challenge cars. And yeah, they were testing out a load of different silver graded drivers, including me. And yeah, of course, I made a couple of videos of these tests, mainly driver's eye style videos. But overall, the tests went well. I mean, the Dubai one went okay. I definitely underestimated how tough it would be to adapt to a front engine GT3, because it was a lot different compared to the McLaren, which is where the bulk of my experience is from. But I still did enough to get invited back to the Silverstone test, and going into that test, I did a lot more prep on the sim to understand fully how to get the most out of a front engine GT3, the characteristics of that, and to fully understand how to drive the Bimmer. And yeah, that test went much better, much better. I was very happy with the performance on that day. I think you can see from both onboard videos, the Dubai one versus the Silverstone one, it is night and day difference. The way I'm driving the car, it looks so much easier in the Silverstone one, just because I'm driving it correctly, you could say. Whereas I think in Dubai, I was still trying to drive it like a McLaren, which is a lot different. So yeah, after that, I thought, do you know what? Might be in with a chance here. Getting in that silver seat for GT World Challenge, that would be nuts. But unfortunately, I got the news a couple of weeks back that I won't be in that seat for 2025, and it's no surprise. Of course, it came down to budgets, or probably more specifically, my lack of budget. Racing teams are businesses at the end of the day, so, you know, and drivers are an integral part of that business model for them, so I completely get it. And of course, a massive shout out must go to Paradigm Competition for inviting me to the test, for giving me more experience behind the wheel of a GT3 car. And yeah, a massive shout out to Garage 59 as well for letting me race for them last year. And a massive shout out goes to you guys, because if you remember, a couple of years back, I did a GoFundMe for my racing career, and all of that money that was raised went towards my racing in 2024. So yeah, a big thank you to those who donated way back when. I won't be doing that again, to be honest. I think it just doesn't feel right, and it's not a sustainable way to raise budget anyway. But yeah, it was a really cool thing to see when we did do that a couple of years ago. But yeah, that's it. I mean, here we are. No real racing plan for 2025, I'm afraid to say, guys. Of course, never say never. We saw last year that things can pop up, like the Garage 59 opportunity. That wasn't planned at all. So of course, I'll stay ready, training in the sim, training in the gym, just in case something pops up, just to show what I can do. But yeah, it's just not ideal racing like this. You know, having weeks, months, and even years out of the car at a time just makes you incredibly rusty, so you can never really maximize your potential. I saw last year in Jeddah, you know, having done Spa and Monza to sort of shake off the cobwebs and get me in a nice flow, how much you can really find from yourself when you're racing regularly. But yeah, that's life. I mean, it's not always 100% fair, as we all know. I've been incredibly lucky to have raced as much as I have. I know many people out there would have dreamed of doing what I've done, which, you know, I don't forget that. So it really depends on how you view the situation, whether you're glass half empty or glass half full. I think a couple of years back, I would have been glass half empty, maybe sobbing, sorry for myself sort of thing. But now I'm definitely glass half full. I understand, like, wow, I've been able to do some mental things, some mental experiences. So yeah, maybe that's because I'm getting old, you know, maybe that's why I'm glass half full, I don't know. But yeah, finally, for full context, this isn't a I'm giving up video. Obviously, it's not a very positive video because it's not a positive or happy situation. My goals remain the same, which is to be a factory driver one day and to end up at Le Mans and to win Le Mans, both of which I know I'm fully capable of doing, and I'm not a cocky guy. I've just seen the data in the video and I've had the experience to compare myself against some of the very best drivers, and I know it's there. I fully know it's there. I just need a full season or two to prove that. That's really the only thing that's standing in the way, to be honest. So yeah, I'll just be turning my attention to 2026 and we'll try and make it happen again.